Science for Project number 5, I was asked to do one on just lighting LEDs and kind of showing that you can keep adding LEDs to it and the others don't dim down, showing that there's really no loading on the circuit. What I've got here is these wires are just hung on the side of this foil. I've used those for other experiments, so you can ignore them. I just didn't want to take them off the battery. So the exciter is really being run on this 12-volt SLA battery. You can see that it's in operation at this time through an L3. And what I've done here is, I don't want to touch anything because I'll mess up my video, but here's just a piece of aluminum foil. This is actually a piece of foil that comes pre-folded for wrapping sandwiches, of all things. And I've just laid it out here and connected L3 to it. Now what I'm going to do is, I have a number of boards here. This has 12 LEDs on it, and you can see that they're just wired in series, and there's an AV plug on it. And what I've done here is just attached a small piece of aluminum foil with this alligator clip to the board, and it's not touching any of the connections of the LEDs. This is physically a capacitive type coupling. And here what I've done is, I have a 48 LED board. You can see the back again. It's they're all wired in series, the AV plug, and I'm using a clip lead for that one because I don't have enough room on the board to attach a piece of foil, but foil would work just the same. Here's a couple of AV plugs with a white LED, a red LED, and they're just hooked into that little European terminal strip. And then here we have another 12 hooked in series, and the foil again just tacked onto that board for a capacitive coupling via that alligator clip. So what I want to do, now you're going to notice that as I go through this, there will be some dimming until I retune, so don't get too excited over that. But what we'll do first is, we'll go ahead and just lay this white LED out here and show you that the white LED runs fine. We'll show you the red LED runs fine. They aren't all that bright. We can take and retune them at this point. Let me get my little tuning wand in there, and you can see we can bring them up considerably. Okay, what I want to do first is take this 12 LEDs and just put the end of the AV plug on this foil. You can see how bright that came. Also, if you watch these two LEDs when I do this, you'll see there's no dimming there. Okay, so I'm going to pull these back out of the way because I need the room, and then I'm going to go ahead and put this 12 LEDs over here, and now we have both of them on. Now this is a good opportunity for me to retune before I put the big one on, and we'll take and retune for maximum brightness, which is about right there. Okay, so at this point in time we have 12 plus 12 or 24 LEDs. And if you look over here, you can see these guys are running from the capacity off the battery. So okay, we'll take this 48 LED board, we'll go ahead and put it in there. Did you see now that there's no dimming? There's a glitch because of my hand being in proximity, but when I move away that changes. So now I'll go ahead and retune again, just to be sure we're at the maximum point, and we can watch the 48 LEDs, and there's our maximum. Okay, so you can see that now we have 48 plus 12 plus 12, and we're all running off, and you can see these guys have even gotten brighter. So what I've got here now is just a piece of aluminum foil. This is a fairly large loading effect on that L3, and we're coupling into these LED boards via the individual AV plugs, and we're offsetting the necessary capacity by this piece of foil here, which is again not connected to the AV plugs. This piece of foil here, and we're using, of course, this clip lead here. Now if you want to see the capacitive effects of my hand, let me go over here and touch this. I'll probably screw up my audio, so I'll quit talking while I do it. You see what happens? You've seen how that killed everything. Let's go over here to the battery, and look at this. I even get close to the battery, and you can see what the effect is. So we have a nice area around this entire circuit, which is in oscillation basically. That's probably not the correct term. I'll confuse someone by saying that. But we have excited the environment around the entire circuit, and by coming in and changing this capacity, we will affect the operation of it. But anyway, you can see, can you add more LEDs? That's the next question. Obviously you can. I'd really like to hear back from someone that maybe is going to do this experiment, how many LEDs they've actually been able to run off of there. Also, one thing I might point out is that in the tuning, if you run out of tuning range, you may have to change the bridging capacitor across the tuning cap in order to get the range to where you need to go. But as you add more LEDs to it, you can take and retune, and the exciter will take and cohere at that point and allow you to just keep going. So yes, if you do it, let me know sometime how many LEDs you actually was able to drive off of that little circuit.